Okay. I'm going to give everyone a second to join because I appreciate that I kind of sprung this on you guys by being like, hey, here's the link. Yeah. Okay. So, how are you guys? Tell me about your lives. Tell me about your days. Tell me information about yourselves.
Good.
Good.
Yes?
I'm good.
What have you been up to this week?
I was
Lots
on
of
holiday
work.
last week.
I heard holiday. I heard Izza say something. Izza, what were you going to say?
I was saying lots of walks. Me and Heidi just went on a walk.
I have
Sorry, what did you say, Rhea? Or was that Rhea?
I was on holiday a week ago.
Where'd you go for holiday?
London.
That's so cool. Hi, Nyla. Okay, Nyla's like, I think
Hi. Sorry, I always forget how to turn the microphone back on. I tried to click my picture.
it's okay. We've missed you, though. We've missed you these past few weeks. How have you been?
Good. I've started my summer holidays, so I'm good.
Oh, my God. Julia, how are you? How have you been? How's your life been? My voice is
Hello.
gone. Hi.
I'm
CJ's.
right.
I think CJ's about to join us. CJ was at work, so I don't know if she's going to be able to hop on. If not, you're just going to have me, which really sucks because CJ's great. Yes.
Can I kick myself out so I can try and get my camera back?
Oh,
I think I've
absolutely.
clicked it.
Absolutely. I love Izza. Janine, are you alive? No, nope, clearly not. Okay. So I think we have everybody, right? Nyla, Rhea, and Julia for our opposition team.
Where's Emily?
Oh, Emily, I was just gonna say.
Video's not
Yeah.
working. So,
Emily's in at a festival right now. I think she'll have given her. Has she not given you guys her argument?
No.
Oh, well then let me text her and ask her to come on then, because I know that she's written it. I thought she was going to give it to you.
I mean, it's not on the Google Doc.
It's
She hasn't
not on-
sent it,
yeah.
so.
Guys, let me tell you the wildest stories. So I am working at a summer camp, and it's all these like little snotty-faced children, and the things that they cry about. I just want to like shake them and be like, "Stop crying, you're fine." Like, some kid cried because he couldn't $100, and I was like, "I swear to God, swear to God." And a lot of them, they're all rich kids as well. So like one kid lost a cap that was like 2,000 dirhams, which 2,000 dirhams is like, I think that's, hold on, AED to pounds. Let me do a conversion. Let me do some math for you guys.
it's
2,000
about
dirhams.
400 quid, I think.
Yeah, that's right. 400 pounds for a cap. And he lost it. And then his mom got so mad at me. She was like, this cap costs more than the summer camp. I was like, then you can leave. £400 is like more than my entire salary for this camp. Do not argue with me. I'll cry. Yeah. I just realized I was like live streaming all of that. So I'm going to have to cut that whole rant out for it. Yeah. Yeah. Not live streaming, but recording all of that. So I'm going to, if I upload this anywhere, I'm cutting that part out. Does anyone else want to say anything explicit or controversial before I cut the video? No? No proclamation?
I don't like mayonnaise.
I was about to say that.
Well, that's not guys. That is a very sensible take.
I didn't say it because I feel like it's not controversial. Like, it's just gross, isn't it?
No, it's
Mayonnaise.
true. It's like, what is it, egg, wheat?
Mayonnaise.
Oh, guys, on another note, I don't know how this is on another note. This has nothing to do with mayonnaise. But Julia has told me that a lot of you guys are going into year 11 next year and like sitting your GCSEs next year. And if that's the case, and if that's what you're doing, what me and CJ are kind of doing right now and trying to do is we're trying to dig up all of our old notes from GCSE. Because, okay, we're not math or science people, but we took like media, geography, history, and we did well in all of those. So I don't know what exam boards you guys do, but hopefully we can help you with things. We would love to edit your coursework. If you want us to edit your media or your English coursework, we will do it for free. Is that a text from CJ? No, it is not. Boo. So I'm going to get a channel started for you guys. I'm really sorry. It's just been a really busy week. But I love you, Izza. I just saw the hearts. I love you. Something I want to say is also, if you feel like over the summer you need to take a break from Chatterbox, or you just need to rest, I completely get that. Rest. Otherwise, if you go into year 11 next year like not fully like 110%, that's not going to be good. So I completely get it. But like, my thing is, I'm going to be active on the like Slack and whatever. Message me if you want advice, if you need to scream, cry, whatever. Where is Emily?
Sorry, she's not messaged me back. It's not gone through. She's in the Lake District at a festival, but I know that she's written her argument. I thought she would have sent it to you, but do you know what I think's probably happened is she's written it because she showed me a bit of it, and then she's tried to send it, and because she's got no signal, it's not sent through.
That's fine.
Check
Okay.
your Google Docs. You might put it on there.
Do you want to check that right now?
I'm not on their channel.
Oh, sorry. That's
Yeah,
right.
someone check the Google Doc. That's a good point.
Heidi,
Nothing.
Izza, do you guys know?
There's nothing.
Hold on.
She's definitely written it because she showed me it, but
Have you
I
got all
can't
of
remember.
it?
I guess we're losing. We'll give the thing.
We'll just hand it over.
We'll hand it over.
Have you got all of it, Nyla, or just a little bit?
No, like I don't have it, but she showed it to me. Like I know that she has written it.
Okay, hold on.
If you give us 10 minutes, I think we can do it in 10 minutes.
No, we cannot.
No, how about this? Wait, guys, what was your... Sorry. Oh my god, is my internet lagging again? I'm going to kill myself. Is it lagging again, guys? Guys, I have no patience. Okay, if I do that thing where I just disappear...
Someone's online.
Someone's online.
Emily's here.
No, that's me.
Something's
That's me.
happening.
That's me. That's online.
Oh, it's you.
Sorry. That's me.
You're disappointed.
I would be disappointed too. No, what I was gonna say is, okay, who's written what thus far? Like, what do we? Okay, Emily's just argument 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Can everyone give us 10 minutes and I can try and write argument 2?
Whoa! We're gonna lose now.
No.
We can just, if you want, we can just do one argument.
I feel bad then, because then you guys, Nyla, Rhea, Julia, you guys have done 2. Okay. How about this? We can do one argument. I like that idea, but I don't want your hard work to go to waste. So if you want, after we've decided win, lose, you guys can read us your second argument just so we can appreciate it. Because I don't want someone to have written a whole thing and then not have the chance to present it. That really sucks.
You have to choose.
All right.
Nyla, you want to do mine or yours?
I don't know.
You do yours. I think yours will be better.
You can
No,
combine,
I don't think that's true.
you can Frankenstein them into one. I know that's tricky, but if you guys want to do that, because Nyla and if I had to choose between Nyla and Rhea on a debate team, that's like a Sophie's choice. That's like a nightmare choice. So I feel like if I know anything about the 2 of you,
Nyla, send me yours and I'll send you mine because I haven't seen it. Give us 5 minutes to
Yeah, give us a second, everyone.
no, it's okay. Take your time, guys. Take your time.
Can I get this?
Literally, there's just a corner of my room and there's a whole bunch of wires and there's like the internet box is on the floor. It's a whole disaster. I actually can't anymore. I'm gonna move to the UK one day, you guys, and then we're actually just gonna meet up in person and hang out. Doggo! There's a dog. Sorry, guys. Guys, introduce the dog.
It's
Izza,
Hugo.
Heidi.
Hugo, come here.
Oh, it's Hugo.
Don't be rude, you guys. Introduce the dog. Hugo, come say hello.
This is Hugo.
We've replaced Julia.
Yeah,
with Hugo.
yeah.
Julia, how do you feel? Oh, Nyla shared an image. I'm so scared. Oh, it's just the argument. Sorry, I'm kind of
Now
scarred.
that you look at that's mine.
Oh, okay.
Wait, let me just send you mine. Oh my god, this is.
Oh, are we sending them to Janine? I put it on the opposition chat.
No, it's fine. I'm sending you mine. Yours.
Oh, great.
I'm sending you mine. There you go.
Sorry, mine's a photo.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Okay. You can send whatever you want, however you want to send it.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Nyla, is this your argument?
In the opposition, yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
I've sent mine to Nyla privately.
So what are you guys going to do? Are you going to pick either or are you going to Frankenstein two together?
I think we've taken very different stances.
Yeah, they sound very different.
Okay, gotcha. Whoever doesn't get to read theirs in like the official portion will get to read theirs afterwards because I will kill myself if I don't get to hear both of your debates.
I think Raya sounds really natural. Like I think it'll be better. It sounds good.
Want me to do mine then?
Yeah.
Nyla, why don't you instead pose my POI for me then? Because we came up with POIs, so.
Oh, that's really clever.
Oh,
Nyla.
I'll just do my POI. Yeah, fine.
Do both, I swear. I'm not doing both. That's too much talking for me. Read mine out for me, yeah?
Okay. Oh wait, am I doing mine that I sent or?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Isa and Heidi, you guys look scared and you should be scared.
Okay, we're sorted then. We'll do my argument and Nyla will pose the POIs.
Excellent.
We're very much not prepared for this.
That is fine.
We said POI. It was us texting like 2 hours ago, like, oh my god, guys, I've got a POI. And then I was like, oh my god, that's giving me an idea for a POI. And then frantically drafting in the chat.
Look, personally for me, this is a really exciting day because Nyla on her own is phenomenal. Rhea on her own is phenomenal. We get to add a Nyla Rhea crossover. Everyone on this team is phenomenal. That wasn't like an exclusionary, they're only phenomenal thing. But I feel like their debate styles are very similar in that they're very like fiery. And I'm excited to see how this like transacts.
I'll let you know which POI is Raya's because it's like she needs credit for it. It's so good.
Oh my god, we're gonna die.
It's fine.
Can I ask POIs on behalf of the proposition?
I didn't realize we were unmuted.
We're very sorry.
Okay. It's okay. We could do actually no. I was gonna say we could do a debate where it's like a friendly debate, so there are no like winners or losers. But actually, I really wanted to.
Oh wait.
Oh well, we'll just see how it plays.
There are winners. So.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
We're proposition, aren't we?
Or proposition.
Okay.
Since when? Oh.
You guys don't know you were proposition. It's actually kind of confusing though because proposition is like you're arguing that nationalism is bad. And then it's like it's
yeah, opposition feels like a negative, proposition feels like a positive. So
exactly.
It's weird. I got confused a bit, but yeah.
When I was showing my dad my thing, he thought opposition meant like my opposition, like the other team. And he got really confused. He's like, are you arguing against your case? I'm like, no, we're the opposition.
Where did Julia just pop off to? I was gonna say let's start now.
Julia's our opening, so we actually can't even
I can read Julia's out if she doesn't come back.
Tell you what, guys, it's summer. It's honestly like everyone's just tired. I'm tired. I don't know if you guys are tired.
Oh, Julia's back. Hello.
Hi, sorry. My Wi-Fi went
good.
and then my battery went. It was all happening.
You're good. It's been a bad night for technology or a bad afternoon for technology. Do you guys need 5 more minutes? How long do you want me to give you?
I think I'm ready.
Thumbs up if you're ready. Actually, I can't see all of you.
Obviously, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Digital thumbs up. Where's my digital? Okay, it's gone. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh wait, there we go.
Isa and Heidi, how do we feel? Oh, I love little reactions. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, Isa and Heidi would like to speak. You raised your hands. No? Okay. Isa, Heidi, can we start?
What?
Huh?
What?
All we can hear is very aggressive typing.
Oh, that's Nyla, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
It's all right. You're good.
Hey,
You're
it's
good.
okay.
You're good. Isa, Heidi, can we start?
Okay.
You sure?
Okay.
Okay.
Start whenever.
Sorry?
Start whenever.
Oh, I was gonna say who is the proposition's opening speaker, but I'm gonna assume it's Isa. Okay, great. Prop opening is yes. Start whenever you are ready.
As the proposition, we fundamentally believe that in regards to international relations, nationalism has more negative effects that outweighs any positive factors, which we'll discuss further within this debate. The Cambridge Dictionary states that nationalism is a feeling of affection and pride that people have for their culture and heritage of their society in their country. This may initially appear a positive ideology. However, it is shown throughout history that nationalism has often backfired on society, which leaves the country in distress due to the detrimental repercussions. Influential academics throughout history have often disliked nationalism. Albert Einstein went as far to say as nationalism is an infantile disease, the measles of the mankind. Historical examples of the detrimental impacts of nationalism will be explained within the first argument, and the wider scale's impact will be discussed further within our second argument.
Okay, well done, you guys. Who is our opening speaker for the opposition? Please announce yourself.
It's me.
Julia, begin whenever you are ready.
Okay. It is the fundamental belief of this House that nationalism does and will have a positive impact on international relations. To begin, the opposition would like to define nationalism as identification to one's own country and culture, and advocacy for a country's political independence. Globally, we have witnessed many situations where this has changed a country for the better, and a clear example of this would be the destabilisation of the British Empire as a result of a nationalist surge. This led countries to crave independence to liberate their personal cultures and beliefs, resulting in stronger alliances all around the world. It is indisputable that our differences in beliefs and pride for our culture is what makes our planet so idiosyncratic. It's our differences that unites us all. I would like you to take a moment to picture a world where we are all ruled by one leader. There are no different countries, there are no different cultures. Instead, we lead homogeneous lives as we are dictated by corrupt and tyrannical superiors. This is a dystopia without nationalism, without difference, without pride. Humanity internalizes nationalist values to thrive.
Okay, thank you so much, Julia. If we can have our first speaker from the proposition, please. Who's that going to be?
That's me.
Okay, Heidi, whenever you are ready, you may begin.
Let me open with a question. What do you imagine when you think of nationalism? For some, nationalism emphasizes a unity of culture and past, present and future. However, others may recognize how it strikes fear of conflict and turmoil within a society in every moment, hidden behind a facade of uniformity and proud, heedless homogeny. Let me bring to the opposition an example, specifically World War II. Adolf Hitler, fueled by a hubris of his own ambition and need for power, takes control and forms a nationalist party, spreading manipulative propaganda and harmful ideologies, all within the facade of nationalism. Hitler's fanatic anti-Semitism and nationalism that propelled Nazi ideology later caused the Holocaust, all in the name of nationalism. So I repeat, 11 million innocent civilians, including 6 million Jews, were deliberately, methodically, and systematically killed by Nazi Germany under the control of a nationalist party that also enforced ideologies of discrimination, segregation, sexism, racism, and homophobia. This is the truest form of nationalism. The same title that the opposition encourages in false belief that it creates greater positives that outweigh these factors. As far as the opposition are concerned, we are open to hearing any positives the opposition legitimately believe could outweigh this argument, as we are under the influence that even the most educated aren't even able to find any factors without trivializing the lives of those that were needlessly sacrificed in the wars. Again, all in the name of nationalism. Even though our government can be notorious for arguing, there was little hesitation when lessons of these world wars were added to the curriculum across Europe in order to warn the youth of the causes and consequences to avoid in the future. The opposition need to thoroughly consider...
POI, sorry.
No.
Hello, my name's Raya. I've got POI. Let me just get it. Okay. The French Revolution against the Antoinettes was fueled by nationalism. The people of France knew their rebellion would severely impact the trade routes with other countries and the power balance in Europe, promoting other revolutions and the deaths of many noblemen. However, they cared about their people and saved countless lives. They cared more about their people and saved countless lives. How would you suggest they break free of the corrupt rule without using nationalistic means?
Nyla, you stole my judge question, damn it.
Right, I've got to think about this one.
That was Raya's, by the way, not me. That was all Raya.
I knew it was a mistake putting you guys on the same team. I didn't even put you guys on the same team. You guys decided to be on the same team. Horrible people. Can we
think about it?
Yeah, do you guys want a second to... We can give you... I'm obviously going to do this for the other side as well, should they receive any POIs. Nyla, Isa, Heidi, you guys can have 2 minutes to think about it. Is that okay? Okay, I'm going to set a timer. I'm assuming that this is the timer. No, but that was a really excellent question, and I actually wrote that down, so you guys...
Great minds think alike.
Damn, now I'm going to have to think of another judge question. Okay, you guys have 27 seconds. Okay, your time is up. Isa, Heidi, I'm going to have to request that you answer Raya's POI asked by Nyla.
We were thinking that nationalism is more about like the claiming of your heritage and being proud of your heritage as a country, and it's not about like the sole independence of the country. So them trying to gain freedom under the title of nationalism is more about them gaining freedom, not claiming their heritage, and it's freedom from like the dictatorship of the monarchy. And there are other things you can do without like the power of nationalism, such as like peaceful protesting and stuff, which is things that have worked in our past and our present?
Actually, nationalism is technically defined as you support the needs of your country above any other countries. It's of course, obviously, that claiming your heritage as well. But I think the opposition is stating that how would the French people have broken free of what's the word? That dictatorship if they hadn't cared more about their country? Because the deaths of the Antoinettes rippled across all of Europe and caused mass revolution and death of the noblemen. But it also disrupted the trade routes, which caused lots of people harm. But would we rather that the French people stay under the corrupt monarchy even till today? And
Well,
without...
Oh, do you want to carry on?
No, go.
Yeah. Well, I think the way you defined nationalism in your introduction was like politically you are superior to other countries. And because we're talking in terms of international relations, this freedom isn't about politics. It's about actually having freedom for the population of the country, and it's not about like politics.
However, it did have mass effects, not even in politics, in just the lives of ordinary people. Trade routes were disrupted, revolutions were started, it prompted riots in other countries, but the French people could have cared about that and decided to stay submissive and stay starving. So if they didn't care about their country and believe in their needs enough to do that, how else would they get the motivation to ignore the needs of other countries, to ignore the needs of the noblemen of other countries and break free from the noblemen of their country?
Wait. Can I say something? No, sorry. Can I say something? And look, I don't plan to interject like this every single debate, but okay. Can I just find if I'm understanding Rhea correctly? So you're saying that the French cared so much about their country over other countries that they were willing to go through this whole revolution, knowing that it would ripple throughout all of Europe and have horrible consequences there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying how would they manage to do that if they didn't have national pride in their own country?
But then, doesn't that actually support Heidi and Isa's point that nationalism does more harm than good in international relations? Because internationally, French nationalism was horrible for everyone outside of France.
Well, it was, but it was mostly horrible towards the nobility outside of France, because this prompted other revolutions in other countries which were oppressed by a similarly dictatorial rule. So it did have negative effects, but arguably those are against people. And I know those damaged the structural integrity of other countries, but they were working towards freedom, not only for their country, but it impacted the freedom of other countries too. I'm saying if they had worried about the noblemen of other countries, of course this affected the peasants too. However, it ultimately was towards the greater good, which is freedom and revolution. So how, if they did not have nationalism, would they have been brave enough to do that, knowing that it would damage the noble people who deserve damage, but it would damage a lot of Europe? How would they, without nationalism, be able to do that or have the guts to be able to do that? What other reason is there to do that other than nationalism and national pride?
Yeah, and I think what Raya's saying also links to the fact that with freedom from national pride comes increased access to education, higher life expectancies, which in turn gives more power to a people, that increases a country's power on an international scale and overall improves their international relations.
That's a really good point. Thank you guys for answering that. Isa, Heidi, did you guys want to say anything back?
Well, essentially what you said, you are supporting our side by saying that nationalism has
I'm not interjecting
negative
anymore.
consequences that, in our opinion, we're not saying that maybe there are more positive consequences than negative consequences. But
then
Oh,
overall, by saying it does more good than harm, if there's more positive consequences.
But overall, we're talking about how there is negative consequences on international relations. You're not talking about the positive consequences on the people, but the positive consequences on the people result in the negative consequences within international relations.
Yeah, we are aware that nationalism does cause many problems, However, we are also aware that nationalism is ultimately, in the long term, working towards the greater good. Nationalism will always cause deaths, and the opposition acknowledges this and acknowledges the point of the proposition that in the short term, nationalism is going to cause a lot of death and pain. However, in the long term, it is nationalism which stops westernization, cultural erosion, dictatorships, because we need that national pride in order to take that step, which may harm other people in the short term, but in the long term is working towards the freedom of the common people. We're not saying that nationalism is perfect and being nationalist will cause zero death or zero negative consequences, but ultimately it will always do more harm than good, because we have to think about a long-term scale here. It's not just about the next century, which we might have a century-long dark age, but if that means a millennia of freedom, I think that's a worthy price to pay.
I think the opposition also maintains that we're not talking about chauvinistic nationalism here, a sort of route into fascism for countries on an international scale that where we'd sort of accept that sort of racism. We're talking about a post-colonial nationalism that, like Raya said, helps the cause of fighting back against westernization and cultural erosion. It's not, nationalism isn't necessarily this idea of fascism or a belief of superiority of race. It's just an intense belief in the people of a country.
And a support in their needs above the effects that it might have in the short term.
But if we're talking specific effects, you're saying that in the long run, there will be more positive effects within the people. But the statement is in international relations. And I think in the long term, there's going to be more negative consequences on international relations in comparison to the positive effects within the freedom of the people.
Can the proposition explain why they think there'll be more negative consequences long term, please?
Well, it's all about like the discourse between the countries. So if there's one revolution sparking in France that's sparking the rest of the revolutions, there's going to be discourse between the countries, which ultimately is the debate and the statement that we're fighting for, which is there's more negative consequences between the relationships of the countries than the positive consequences within the people and the population as they're given freedom, as they're given more access to education and things like that.
So you say it would cause more discourse, sorry, right? You say it would cause more discourse between countries, but do we really want a global political sphere that doesn't support the freedom of a country's people?
Also, if all countries are working towards revolution, they have aligned goals. How would that create more discourse between the countries if they are all working towards the same thing, which is republic and fairness for the common people? That would ultimately align their goals.
Guys, I'm sorry, I love the questions, but can we keep it to one like at a time for Isa and Heidi? Because I love them, but like I think they to do each question justice, they need we need to ask them individually so they can deconstruct each of them and go really deep into them. Is that all right, you guys?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you were saying about aligned goals within the people, but nationalism is based within the politics. So if there's discourse between the different governments, that class is in poor international relations and negative consequences on international relations in comparison, just because the people have aligned goals.
Okay, so if we're talking about politics here, now, if the people are educated, this means that they will take a greater action in politics. If they are educated, with education, longer lifespan, as Nyla said, this is what freedom brings. And educated people understand that, of course, politics plays a major part in all of our lives. Therefore, logically, we can see that if people have more freedom, more education, they will take a greater care in politics. They will elect the correct leaders. They will watch these international relations go to the UN. They will try and advocate for stuff that they want, which means that the decisions that these people are making in international relations are for the good of the people. And doesn't that improve international relations? Because it's all good to be doing corrupt trade between sleazy businessmen and powerful people who just want more money and more power. But when countries have the needs of their people in mind, such as freedom, such as education, doesn't that improve international relations, even if it may cause discourse between the corrupt people who want to use international relations to gain themselves more money and power?
I think with that's a bit of a mic drop. This line of questioning is resolved. Unless Isa and Heidi, you have something you desperately cannot keep inside.
Are we allowed to finish the argument?
I'm denying it.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead and finish your argument.
The opposition need to thoroughly consider the ideology they stand behind. They cannot encourage a unified nature of nationalism without completely discarding and trivialising these harmful, horrific, and nightmarish events of history that were caused by nationalist ideals. In my eyes, anyone who can legitimately support the detrimental impacts of world wars can only be a desensitised, callous, and brutish monster, or a victim influenced by the futility of an imaginary utopia of unity and teamwork that will never be reached.
Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of like a million judge questions right now. Okay, can we have our first and only speaker from the opposition?
That would be me.
Rhea, begin whenever you are ready. I'm so scared in the best way.
Nationalism. Probably the most misunderstood concept of all time. Whilst racism actively seeks to harm others, nationalism is more like a savvy sort of independence, a love for your country, and a support of your people's needs above any other nations. The proposition can call this concept selfish or against cooperation, but this isn't the case. Nationalists aren't against cooperation. They're against cooperation that doesn't benefit their people. Without this healthy skepticism, cooperations would be not only useless, but detrimental. Take this example. Japan is involved in a war and asks the US for assistance. However, the US is facing a surge of terrorism and need their military might. They don't prioritize their own needs and send help to Japan. This causes tens of thousands of people to die of terrorist attacks, forcing them to withdraw. Then the Japanese people are left defenseless as their enemies crack down on the reinforced army. If the US had been nationalist, they would have negated the terrorist threat before sending reliable aid to Japan, greatly reducing the number of deaths. Yes, in war, this rationality can seem callous, but as you can see, it's the best way to minimize the mortality rate of such affairs. You can't help anybody else if you need help yourself, and if we don't act with this intelligent nationalist mindset, not only death, but crime and anger reign free. See, the decision to send help to Japan would have angered the vulnerable American people because their government, who they elected to protect them, endangered them from an entirely different country. This fury would have prompted civil unrest and xenophobia, fueling violence and, as it put like-minded people into government, war. Nationalism, on the other hand, prioritizes people. This unites them behind their government and means they take care in selecting a leader. Thus, they function as a unified state, making uncorrupt, democratic decisions that lower crime, unemployment, and prejudice. To conclude, the stigma surrounding nationalism pales in comparison to its many benefits in international relations, such as improving countries' intent, uniting and prioritizing people, and saving countless lives and resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhea. That was brilliant. Thank you, Rhea. Okay, now I'm going to try my best to ask judge questions, and then we're going to move on to closings. Okay. Who wants to take the judge questions first? Nobody?
Real guys.
Yeah? Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Ooh. Wait, can I do 2 for each? Oh, no. Okay. Actually, Rhea, you just did your thing. You can rest. I have a question for the opposition. Wait. Who do I have a question for? I'm losing my mind.
I'm the opposition with Nyla and Julia. Izza and Heidi are the proposition.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Yes, actually, no. Rhea, you can't rest. I lied to you. I have a question for the opposition. Okay, so World War I started because an 18-year-old in Serbia called Gavrilo Princip joined the nationalist group, the Black Hand Gang, and he thought, what better a way to show my love for Serbia than by taking down the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the future heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And I'm sure at the time he thought very much along what you and Nyla were saying about, advancing the people and freeing them from tyranny and autocracy. But in the long run, thousands and thousands of people died. Serbia's standard of living, standard of life, quality of life didn't go anywhere. and ultimately they didn't really rise up again in any kind of way. It didn't work to Serbia's benefit. So how does, in the framework that the opposition has laid out, how do they account for an incident like that?
The opposition would say that, the opposition would say that that sort of nationalism is not a nationalism we support and is instead pure nationalism being weaponized by someone who has racist and xenophobic ideals. So that man would have probably thought that his people needed to uprise. However, death is not often the way to do this. As you can see, the Antoinettes were starving their people, so executing them was realistically the only way to free the people. However, they were still French people, and the French nationalists were very upset to kill even one French life in that revolution. The opposition believes that if it takes someone to kill someone who is of the same nationality as them, and if the oppression doesn't need that, then that is not nationalism, because that is somebody with racist or violent ideals using nationalism as a weapon to excuse murdering someone whose goals don't really align with their own. This Archduke,
Sorry, go ahead.
This Archduke, unless he was, as the Antoinettes were, endangering the lives of millions of children, infants, elderly people, women, men across the country, which I'm not very well versed on World War I, but I don't believe he was doing something that significant. If somebody wanted to kill him, that is not nationalism, because they would be upset to waste even a single life of the country that they love so much. So I believe, the fact of the matter is that that man was not nationalist. He was a racist, he was a chauvinist who used nationalism to excuse his horrible actions.
Okay, that's a good answer, but it's a slippery slope for a few reasons. Firstly, and this is a question for everybody that I'm also going to pose to the proposition, is where do we draw the line? Nyla brought this up earlier. I thought it was an excellent point. Where do we draw the line between nationalism and chauvinism? Because it's kind of easy to say, okay, well, we support nationalism, but just not that kind of nationalism, or that's too hateful to be nationalism, right? In terms of not being versed in World War I history, you're in year 8. I had no expectation that you would be, so I'm sorry if it came off that way. But to give a little bit of more of like to paint you more of a picture, what the Austrian-Hungarian Empire was doing to everybody, all of its kind of like colonies, if you will, was, yeah, they were pretty much doing the same thing. They were starving them as the Antoinettes would have starved France. So I personally, I would equate those two as the same. This kind of brings us back to our capital punishment debate, where it's kind of like, okay, how is this crime bad enough to kill them? And it's like, you know what I mean? So let's say the Antoinettes and this Archduke and the Austria-Hungarians are on the same level. Is it okay to kill in the name of nationalism?
Well, I feel like the death of the Antoinettes didn't cause a world war, because nobody else jumped in vengeance for somebody who was a horrible person who starved millions of innocents. I feel like if a whole world war would have started because of this, that is because another country would have been angered by the rightful death of an oppressor, and therefore attacked an innocent country who had done what it needed to do to free itself. And that, I would not believe, is nationalism, because nationalism supports the needs of your people above any other nations. And nobody needs to go into war for a reason such as they killed one of our oppressors.
Okay. Interesting. Nyla, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could give a little bit of an answer to this one as well.
Absolutely, please.
Well, I'd just say that Austria's response was a perfect example of nationalism at work, or at play, or whatever you want to call it, in international relations. Because of their pride for their country and their respect for their leader, they didn't they give Serbia an ultimatum or something, and
yeah,
they it led to war for a multitude of factors, not just this one, we know that. But really, they stood up for their country. And in the end, they didn't come out of it well, actually, but that's nationalism. Not, you can't associate a political crime with a political ideology. It's like saying terrorists in the ISIS group are a beaming example of Islam. It's extremism doesn't go hand in hand with an ideology. It's just angry people making rash decisions.
Oh, I like that. You can't associate a political crime with a political ideology. That is, yeah, that's asked and answered. Thank you, guys.
Can I argue that you can equate a political ideology with its negative consequences?
Okay, yes, you expand on that. Go ahead.
I don't know. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, that's all you wanted to say.
Well, if we can do that, can we justify, as Nyla said, Islamophobia because of the ISIS groups and the terrorists who use Islam as an excuse?
Also, I wouldn't say that that this killing or any political killings in the name of the person's country is a direct consequence, as Heidi said, of nationalism. It's a consequence of the oppression that a person has received. And if the opposition maintains that if there was a strong sense of nationalism in every country, then as we saw with the Antoinettes in France, people would be free. There wouldn't be oppression. No one would feel, well, no one's strong, but there wouldn't be so much hate and anger that led to these sorts of assassinations. It's not a direct consequence of the ideology. It's a lack of the ideology.
And if I can expand upon that, the cause of World War I was partially the assassination of the Archduke. However, the cause of the assassination of the Archduke was the Austrians invading Serbia and taking it over. And would that be an example of nationalism? Because invasion is not an example of nationalism. Invasion harms all who are involved in it. Even the country who is invading, they need to send soldiers from their country to war and sacrifice millions of young men in order to invade a country. Their people need to be rationed. They need to manufacture bombs, which can be incredibly harmful for civilians. So this invasion, which was what caused World War I, because if they had kept to their own business and didn't invade Serbia and left the Serbian people free, they wouldn't have felt any need to assassinate the Archduke and cause this massive war. That is the exact opposite of nationalism. That is putting your people's needs behind what you personally want. And nationalism is putting your people's needs above the needs of anybody else. You, other countries, other leaders. So if the Austrians had upheld nationalistic ideals, they would not have invaded Serbia in the first place, because it would have incredibly harmed their people, even if they were more powerful, for no given reason, for the reason of one person whose needs from a nationalistic standpoint do not rise above the needs of the people of the country. So technically, if we had upheld nationalism, all of this wouldn't have happened, because the cause of that was essentially Austria invading Serbia, not the assassination.
Wait. Reiterate that point, Rhea. Sorry. Reiterate that point.
I'm saying the Austrians, I'm getting confused. The Serbians felt the need to assassinate that Archduke because the Austrian Empire invaded them and starved them. Now, the invasion would have caused mass death amongst the Austrian soldiers. It would have caused mass hunger amongst their people, as they would need to ration. It would have caused mass risk, as they would need to manufacture bombs, I would assume, which could pose a mass risk to civilian safety. It would have caused lots of riots within their country from people who disagreed with the invasion. So if they had kept to their own business and not invaded Serbia, there would be no need to assassinate the Archduke and no need for World War I. So instead of asking, World War I was caused by a nationalist, do you support nationalism? We should be asking, World War I was caused by someone who was not nationalist, who put their own needs and their desire to invade and get more land above the needs of their people, which is the exact opposite of nationalist ideology. And so, yes, we would support our nationalism, because if the Austrians had been nationalists in the first place, they would not have invaded Serbia, and then World War I would not have happened.
You make a really, really excellent point. And I don't want to say too much about this because I don't know a lot about how Serbia came to be under the Austrian Hungarian Empire, but I think you're oversimplifying it a tad bit. And that's completely understandable because God knows I had known nothing. But I think from what I've learned at least, and please, anyone feel free to Google this or correct me, but it wasn't so much that the Austrians invaded Serbia, but more so that there were people in Serbia who said, okay, let's join the Austrian Empire, because once upon a time they did benefit from being in that empire. But as that empire gets old and antiquated, they want to leave. They want out. They don't see themselves being represented in this empire of hundreds of different nationalities. So they say they want out. So it's not as simple as like, okay, the Austria wronged them, so Serbia has every single right. But at the same time, I entirely see your point, and it's just something that I wanted to flag. But I'm going to give Rhea, Nyla, and Julia a break because I appreciate that you guys have.
Could I respond to that, please?
Actually, yes, please.
I feel like the fact of the matter is, if Serbia felt the need to assassinate this Austrian duke, the Austrians must have been doing something terrible to them. And as you said, they were probably starving the Serbian people. However, why would they do this? At that point, the Serbians were part of their empire. Even if they were of a different bloodline, the Serbians were part of their empire, and therefore they were part of the same country. And if nationalism had been upheld, they would not have done that to any of their people, whether they were Serbian, Austrian, Hungarian. If nationalism in its pure form was upheld, the Serbians would still be the people of the Austrians. And the Austrians, who would, if they were nationalists, would need to uphold their values, would need to represent them, would need to make their people feel heard and need.
Do we have a few? Isa and Heidi, sorry. Continue.
Well, it's not so much a POI, but the proposition would like to make a point that the consequences you are stating have all tended to be the negative or positive impacts on the civilians themselves, whether it's the army or just like the actual innocent civilians. So where within your argument is the actual positive impacts on international relations?
If I could, you go on.
You go.
Well, a people make a country. It's not international relations, the United Nations. It's not land masses arguing with each other. It's about a people's quality of life, a people's freedoms. It is about the effects on society and the people that live inside a country. It's not about the land that they stand on.
Okay.
Also, war is an international relation. When we think of international relations, you might think of the UN. The international relations are defined as any interaction between two countries with a political means, whether that is peaceful or whether that's hostile, such as war. And negating war would have a negative impact on that international relation, but we want to have a negative impact on that international relation because hostile international relations are not okay. So if we are preventing war, if we are preventing hunger between the Serbian and Austrian people, which also counts as an international relation, that is thus improving international relations by removing the hostile international relations from the more peaceful, impactful ones.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think I have my question for the proposition. Okay, how do you guys view nationalism's role in preventing cultural erosion, especially in an era of globalization, westernization? Because in, smaller nations, and I'm thinking when I say smaller nations, I mean nations like Papua New Guinea, who are small and their culture is kind of pushed into the background by asserting their nationalism. Don't you think, in a sense, they're empowered, which gives them a greater space on the international world stage, which in turn leads to a greater thought diversity and a greater range of different ideologies and opinions in international relations, thus improving it?
culture isn't like defined by nationalism.
Sorry?
What?
Well, we're essentially saying that the culture isn't defined by nationalism. You can spread and identify with your culture without identifying under the ideology of nationalism.
Okay. Okay.
But, well, if we take the example of Papua New Guinea, their culture is pushed into the background by other cultures, I believe. So it is the westernization that goes on within their country, and it is the prominence of other cultures, especially European and Northern American cultures, which is pushing their culture aside. So arguably, they would need nationalism, and they would need to think that their culture has a superiority and deserves to be heard as much, if not more, than these massive cultures who dominate on a worldwide scale, to be able to push back against that westernization and globalization. If they believed that they were no better than anybody else, wouldn't they just say, throw their hands up and say, well, if they've managed to westernize us that much, our needs don't matter any more than them. So we'll just let them do this because they've managed to do it. So
Isa and Heidi, I'd love to hear you guys kind of elaborate on that, on the whole idea of like, I love Rhea's point, but I just want to hear you guys talk more about that and like delve further into the whole idea of you don't need nationalism to protect culture, because that's interesting. Like how do you explain?
Well, nationalism is just a title. You don't need to say like I'm nationalist to be able to spread your culture. It's within like the responsibility of governments and responsibility within that country to make that culture heard and make their heritage feel like more represented within the country. You don't need to say I'm nationalist for that to be heard. That shouldn't have to be an expectation within the country.
you also don't have to say I'm nationalist to be nationalist. You don't have to flaunt that. It can be a simple way of life.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I think Julia has something to say, and she's been a little bit quiet. So, Julia, you have the stage.
Hi. So I had a lot of tech problems, but I think I'm getting the gist of like what's being said. So you said that like nobody has to declare that they're nationalist to be nationalist, but I don't think many people really declare that they're nationalist. It doesn't mean that they're not nationalist. Like nationalism is literally identifying with your culture and having pride as like for your country. That is nationalism, and lots of people like internalize nationalism, and they don't you don't have to actually declare that you're nationalist to be nationalist.
Okay. That's sorry guys. That is a really interesting. I think the thing with an argument like this is it's so theoretical, and we could dig into the like technicalities of it so deeply and it would never end. And I really want to hear closings, and I also really want to hear Nyla's argument that she didn't get to read out, because if Rhea's argument was that good, God knows how good Nyla's argument is, and yeah, it's just a lot to take in. So, can we move to closings? Is that all right with everybody? I'm so sorry. I need to end this somewhere. Okay. Okay. Can we have our closing speaker from the proposition?
It is I, Isa.
Perfect. Isa, begin whenever you are ready.
Events of the past affect the present, which ultimately determines our future. This is one of the main messages we have aimed to spread through our arguments, a recurring motive that is fundamental within this debate. Plainly, the fact is that the event of the past, such as World War II, affects the way we live our life. It is shown through our present and our past how we try to live a lifestyle, learning from the mistakes of history, teaching the youth what to avoid to create a better future for generations to come. These are the leaders of our future who have already learnt the detrimental negative impacts associated with and caused by nationalism. Whether you advocate for the positive impacts of nationalism or not, it has already been defined that our future will reject this ideology, and this will be an event that ultimately will positively impact the relations of international countries.
Thank you so much, Isa. All right, if we can have our closing speaker from the opposition. Who is that going to be? Is that Julia? Am I right in assuming that's Julia? Awesome. Okay.
Overall, the
Ready.
opposition thoroughly highlighted the positive impacts that nationalism has on international relations through the significance of identity and significance of a functioning society. What the proposition have failed to recognise is the detrimental consequences the world will face without the input of nationalism. It is a stem of prosperous progression as humanity, on the whole, is becoming more accepting and appreciative of cultural differences from country to country. It is important to recognise that when international relations fail and disputes arise, nationalism could not be considered the forefront of the problem when factors such as capitalism and dictatorships are involved. Currently, Ukraine is courageously fighting to restore nationalism in their country and maintain the pride of their unique culture, rather than being engulfed by a power-hungry dictator. Would it truly be moral for the proposition to deny Ukraine of their nationalistic values, when in reality it is all they have left? The opposition asks, would it truly be moral for the proposition to deny any their pride or their political independence?
Sorry. Thank you, Julia. Rhea, I muted you mid Julia's argument because your mic was making noises. So I apologize if you got a random notification that said you are muted. That I was sorry about that. I just
No, it's fine.
Julia, thank you. Isa, thank you. Guys, this is the part where I'd go with CJ and we'd sit in our breakout room and we'd discuss and decide a winner. But I feel like I know who the winner is. But here's the thing. I appreciate that you guys are down a team member, and I get that we did equal numbers of arguments on each side, but still it's tricky when you don't have somebody to kind of like back you up with POIs. And I know we said we do a POI workshop. I know, and we're gonna do one, I promise. It's just been a really busy week and a half. But yeah. The opposition wins. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm really sorry. Isa, Heidi, I love you. I think, look, because this was a really tough debate, Isa, Heidi, you guys get to pick next week's motion. Send it to me for approvals. And then we can alternate, and then next week we can alternate, and the other team can pick a motion.
I just want to say to everyone that I feel like we want to do something that impacts us nowadays, because
we had no idea what we were talking about. We were just spitting stuff out there.
Yeah, I was like, the Antoinettes, what am I talking about?
You guys were fabulous. But before I forget, Nyla, if you're comfortable and happy to do so, do you want to read us your argument so we can just appreciate it?
Sorry, I went to turn my mic on, but it was already on. Okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the dress.
Oh,
Or is that, I don't know. Sorry.
It's the dress. Okay. Is it easier to achieve a goal when sharing the burden of the means with others, or when bearing the brunt of the task entirely on your own? It's better to live with others than to live among them. When thinking of nationalism, your mind might jump to a country indoctrinated to hate its neighbours. In reality, nationalism doesn't go hand in hand with fascist ideals, nor does it remotely promote them. A fair and caring society can only be achieved with a strong sense of national identity. Nationalism creates community within a country, similar to the traditional family unit but on a much larger scale. Surely love of one thing doesn't diminish the care held for another. Take Dubai, for example. The UAE's relationship with the European Union isn't hurt because the Emiratis are proud of their culture. International relations flourish when a people are proud of the land that they stand on. It cannot be overstated that throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, Western supremacy dominated the global political doctrine. Today, in a post-colonial world, what better way to celebrate our cultures than to tightly embrace nationalism and thank it for the joy that it brings? Here in Europe, we have May Day on the 1st of May, which is a day dedicated to the welcoming of summer. In England specifically, it's a celebration of our pagan heritage. Each year on the 2nd of December, it's the UAE's National Day, which celebrates the unification of the 7 Emirates in 1971. And in India, Each day on the 26th of January, Republic Day is celebrated to commemorate the signing of the Constitution of India, which separated the nation from the British Raj. We're happier when we champion our homes, soil or sand, and as such, we open ourselves to the rewards that come when we work in tandem with other proud nations.
That was excellent. And I love the whole you took that the idea of interweaving cultures and celebrating various cultures to heart. Like that was the center of that whole thing. I loved it.
Amazing. That was amazing.
The way you debate was
amazing.
amazing.
That was a lot for a Thursday night or a Thursday afternoon, but it was wonderful, you guys. Congratulations to the opposition. But Isa, Heidi, and Emily can be in on this as well. Start thinking about your motion. Send me your motion ideas for approvals, just so we can make sure that it's not. I'm sure it won't be something insane, but just let me know. Yeah, thank you so much for this, you guys. I'm aware that I've already kept you for over an hour, so I'm gonna let you get on with your lives. But this was fabulous.
Who gets star speakers?
Oh yes. Wait, no, no, that was a trap. Oh my god, you're gonna make me pick between Rhea, Nyla, and Julia. That was a trap.
I like your Teddy.
Thanks. I don't know what this is actually, like a radish. I'm not really sure. Oh, good God. Hold on.
Am I allowed to nominate someone?
Sure. Guys, let's not do the girl thing where we're all like, oh, you should have it. We're too nice to each other, you guys. If you think you deserve star speaker, put your hand up. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think solely because of the way that Rhea, knowing that you came into this with no knowledge of World War I, right? But you solely went off of the what you do really well is you twist things. You twist things to the point where I'm confused, but I end up agreeing with you. And also you embed emotion in there really well. You're like, yes, they had every right to do that to the Austrians because kids and women and children were starving in Serbia. And I was like, you know what? I'm not sure they were, but it's probably true. So Rhea's star speaker, but I also feel like Rhea, Nyla, can you guys share star speaker? Can you? You guys are both fabulous. Isa and Heidi, I also think you guys should share star speaker because I think it was also where right after you admitted that you knew nothing about it, and that's what debate's about. So it's about pulling things out of thin air and improvising. So I think there are no star speakers. You guys all are stars. Julia, you're a star as well. You didn't get as much screen time as the others, but you were still fabulous. So there are no star speakers.
Are you gonna pick
that was an awful, horrible thing to do, Isa.
Who's gonna pick the teams then?
Down. Can I get Julia?
My nan's here.
Can I get Julia?
Can I be with Emily for the next debate, please?
Huh?
Can I be with Emily for the next debate?
Yeah, you know what? You guys can pick your own teams. Figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like if it's me v Heidi again, I'm going to lose very badly. She was in the chat the second the call ended. I hadn't even got my wits together when she had put her message in the chat. I hadn't even registered that I was star speaker before she got her stuff into the chat.
Yeah, Heidi's on it. The devil works hard, but Heidi works harder. That's the lesson here. Okay, wait. What were the requests? Isa, you said you want to be with Julia. Isa, Julia, Nyla, you said you want to be with somebody.
Emily.
Nyla, Emily. That leaves Heidi with, let's see. Ooh, let's see. Who's a good combination?
Can we have the trio back? Heidi, Julia, and me.
Yeah, why not?
Nothing against anyone else. It's just
We work back.
Okay. I'm so curious to hear what this motion's gonna be.
are we there?
Oh,
We get to pick the motion.
Wait, no. You guys already get to pick the motion. You can't also pick teams. Heidi, I'm sorry.
But can we have something that impacts us now?
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
absolutely. It can be whatever you want. If you literally
Not
wanted to do a debate about how mustard is better than ketchup, like it's your, I don't know, it's your thing.
Yeah, do something stupid. I want to be serious
Science
about
proves
something
that
like that.
mustard has more nutritional value than ketchup.
Okay, guys, just so we're all aware, it's Isa, Julia, and Rhea, which I'm excited for, and then it's Nyla, Emily, and Heidi. Oh,
18.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot we were still on here. Right, I've got to go.
Okay, bye-bye, because Heidi has to go.
Oh, absolutely. Bye-bye, guys. I'm sorry I've kept you far too long. I love you guys. I'm gonna put all this on Slack so nobody
Is
forgets.
the next debate next Saturday? Sorry, because Emily and I are at the cricket. I forgot to say.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Sorry.
That's no problem. Do you want to do it this time next week again? Where my
Thursday?
Wi-Fi will work, hopefully.
I'm free on Thursday.
Yeah. Does that work for
I can
everybody?
do Thursday.
Yeah,
This
Thursday
week?
works for you.
Yes.
Perfect. Next Thursday. I'm so excited for it, you guys. Okay.
3rd of August, I think.
Oh no, it's wait. Me and Heidi and our friends are doing something next Thursday. If it's the 3rd.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's the 3rd of August.
No.
Friday?
Yeah. Friday works.
Our event that she wants to go
Yeah,
to the library.
I'm making everyone go to this race.
Do you reckon we could do it a bit earlier on Friday? Because Emily and I have to catch the train to the place we're seeing the cricket on Saturday. That makes sense?
Oh, that
In
makes
the
sense.
evening.
That makes sense. That makes sense. How about 1 p.m. English
Yeah?
time on Friday?
Yeah, that works. That works
Yeah.
well.
4 p.m. in Dubai.
Yes. Yes. That's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
There
So
we go.
Friday, 1 p.m.
Yes. Thank you for helping me coordinate times, you guys. Enjoy the cricket /
Thank
whatever
you.
Isa and Heidi are doing. I don't know. You guys all have such good social lives. I'm free whenever. I don't have to go anywhere.
No, I'm just at home all day.
Yeah, but
Fair.
you live in Dubai. Like, if you went on a walk outside, that would be like better
Yeah, I
than
would
any
drive.
social
I would
event
melt.
I can do at home.
No, if I went outside, I would melt. It's 48
You guys-
degrees.
I wish I would melt. Like, it's just been raining non-stop here. I
you
wish
guys
I
need
could
to
melt.
come visit. Everyone needs to come visit Dubai because it's cool, but it also kind of sucks a little bit. But it's cool also.
Yeah. We always go to the creek when we go to Dubai. You know, the banana juice that they sell there. Literally, I have an addiction. It's so good.
I didn't
You
know
have
there
to
was
go.
juice.
You have to go to the creek and get the banana juice. Like, it's so good.
Isn't it wild that I've lived here for 9 years and I'm being schooled like Nyla's like, this is where you're gonna go, this is what you're gonna get. You're
No,
gonna go.
no, genuinely, they call it juice. It's not juice. It's like banana and milk, I guess. But they blend it. It's like a banana smoothie. It's the best thing in the world. You get it at like the shawarma stands there.
Okay, that sounds more appetizing. But you literally meant somebody like juiced a banana.
No, it's not like see-through yellow liquid. It's like a banana smoothie.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. We do something similar to break our fast. We do milk with bananas in it to break our fast.
That
We
sounds so
don't.
good.
Guys,
Maybe
I'm
this is
deprived. Banana. I'm gonna find some banana milk. Anything you want in Dubai, you can order. So I'm gonna order some banana milk. I'm gonna get back.
Oh, I've got to go.
Okay, sorry guys. I'm gonna go enjoy my banana milk. Goodbye, everybody. You've been wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a lovely week.
Bye.
You too. Bye.